Hello my friends, this is Enzo Eigen of the Alliance for Loki, and this is Alliance Wars Season 14, and these are Wars 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've decided to do a lot of wars together because I'm running Path 2 and Path 9, and it's a pretty similar fight each time. I'm always using the same champions, and so I figured I would just put them together. So our first war is of course against Kenobi, who is the best alliance in Alliance War, and alliance that we have not really even come close to beating. They're an incredible alliance, great defense, great attackers. Generally, I would say it's rare they die more than 5 or 6 times in a war, and so it's always a pretty difficult battle. And yeah, we have not beat them yet. So this fight, I'm going in with Mysterio and Emma, which is going to be a very common theme of all my wars because Path 9 and Section 2 is the reverse control, but the synergy between Mysterio and Emma avoids that, and so I always bring them in. My third champion will change sometimes. This time is Clairvoyant because my first fight's against Captain Marvel movie, and so she's pretty good against this. So this first node on Path 2 is an interesting node. It has a pretty strong poison that procs, and then it has a bleed that does no damage, but if somehow you are immune to the bleed, it does 7% damage to you. So you need a poison immune champion and one that is not bleed immune, so it's a little bit interesting. But there's a bunch of champions that meet this criteria. So Clairvoyant, so she has sort of the rotating immunities that you can sort of select by ending on a light attack. So the goal here is to get her out of the poison immunity, which she starts in, to the light as quickly as possible. I think I basically have 2 seconds to do this. If not, I'm going to take 7% damage. I'm a little worried about this, and I haven't fought Captain Marvel movie too many times, so I jump into my alliance where I know Forever and Above, as Nick F, has a Captain Marvel as his top champion, so I just do some time dueling, spend some time dueling with her. I duel with the 4-star. The 4-star is a little too powerful, so then I go and try the 3-star. The 3-star is a pretty good matchup because, I mean, it's like she has 2600 PI against, Captain Marvel movie is around 15,000. So yeah, it was a good testing ground, and that's actually why I like having a lot of 3-stars, of course, and ranking them up because they're always good for situations like this. So I duel her several times, just trying to get her animations down, figure out how to dodge her special attacks, and just be prepared for getting in the mode. Because I need to get to poison right away, and then I need to stay in poison, so I can't finish any of my combos with a light attack, else I'll move out of it, and then I could potentially move back over to that poison. Well, then I'm going to take the poison damage, and then potentially also move back over to the bleed immune, and then nullify that and take damage. So a lot of things going on. So I start the fight, I got on my boost as usual, I get quickly to the poison, and you can see now the poison procs, but it's great, so now it's just giving me healing. I was sure I dodged that special, but I didn't, so I get clipped by it, so now I'm already a little bit worried. Just getting hit by the first special. This time I do a better job, and almost dodge it, but I don't know why I decided to block her punch at the end there. So I throw my special 2. The special 2 is nice because it makes her buff immune, so she can not go proc any buffs, and also does a little bit of power drain. The power drain isn't that much, but it's reasonable. And so now I'm just sort of, trying to play it cautious. Get her to SP1, dodge that. I definitely would rather deal with the SP1 than SP2, and so I'm trying to bait those out. Here I totally get wrecked by the SP1. Just mistime the dodge, but luckily it's not doing too much damage. So she's in binary form now, but I nullify over buffs, and I get to the SP3, and since she's poison immune, and when I'm on the poison, I get a clairvoyant charges because I'm putting poison on her, but since it's immune, it becomes a clairvoyant charge, which means my SP3 is plenty powerful to kill her at the end. And so yeah, clairvoyant is a good fight, even though I did not play that very well. You can see here I got hit 6 times. She still had plenty of health left, so was not in too much danger that fight. So now, this is a little bit later. You see we're about 10 hours into the fight, and I'm on Path 9, Section 2. I have a Symbiote Supreme as my first fight, and then my second fight's going to be Invisible Woman. And so, Invisible Woman, I'm definitely going to use Emma Frost, and so, I put on a bunch of medium-sized boosts and my big green boost, and I'm ready to go in. this first fight I could take with either champion. I go ahead and take it with Mysterio, figuring out to save Emma's health for the second fight. Mysterio is a really good champion because he does a lot of damage. I mean, he hits pretty hard. You can see there I'm doing like 4,000, 5,000 crits. My base attacks, 1,000, close to 2,000, so a lot of damage. So you see within 10 hits I already gone down 25%. I had a Power Star 1 expiring, so I go ahead and threw that on him just to get to my Power 3 more quickly. And so here I'm my Power 3. I don't get any bonus off the little SP3 mini gain, but that's alright. And see, it does a lot of damage, a fair bit of damage. This Special 3 it ends up being pretty powerful. So knocking down a fair bit, and now my damage is really going to ramp up with the SP3 now. Look at that, 13,000 crits. I am in assassin range, 7,000. Just doing huge damage and just finish him off with a heavy. And that fight again, very straightforward, easy with Mysterio, nothing too much to worry about. So this next fight, I'm always a little bit leery of Invisible Woman. I mean, between her force field and her invisibility, there's a lot going on. Emma Frost, I'm going in, which is nice because, of course, she's really tough when she's in her diamond form, and also she won't be evaded when she's in her telepathic form. And this does have the global node dodge on it, so I have to be a little bit careful for invades. So she starts off invisible, and I let that sort of wear off, and I'm just sort of doing heavies, and now I'm in my telepathic form. I go at her a little bit. I just block the first part of the SP1. Don't really want to try to dodge it. A little bit too risky. Again, doing nice damage, and yeah, look at that, 12,000 heavy. She goes back invisible. I just gotta sort of wait for that to end. Sort of throw a kick into her to see if that makes it end quick. Not quite sure when her invisibility ends or not. Another big crit on my heavy. It's SP3 time. And so SP3, it depends a lot on your prowess charges. I don't think I had too many, so she's like 61%. Actually, maybe I had a fair number of them, like 5 or 6. And so, take her down a good 30% to right around 30%. So, yeah, back to heavies. Heavies are nice because, again, she doesn't gain much power, so I can really just spam the heavies. She's again invisible, so I'm just waiting for that invisibility to end. Not quite sure when it'll end, so I sort of throw a kick at her because I think that's what you need. You need to do some type of attack into her to end it. Actually, still don't know if that's true or not. She throws her SP1, that's fine. It's pretty easy to dodge. Again, just blocking the projectile. You can see I've taken hardly any damage this fight. I mean, she's a really strong, tanky champ, and I don't believe they have limber on, so I have plenty of time when I parry her to do an attack and finish her off with 100% health. So my war against Kenobi went well, but as an alliance we once again lost to them. Very tough. They're just so good that it's just pretty rare to be able to even come close to having a chance to beat them. So we lost our first war. Here's our second war against Kank. And so Kank, I don't know if we played them last season. We probably did. I've sort of forgotten who we played. I don't really remember them. They're ranked lower than us, so hopefully it'll be an easier war than Kenobi, which is guaranteed. So my first fight is going to be against Massacre, who's skill. So I take an Omega Red, and he's this part of the usual team of Emma and Mysterio. So it's always that third champion. That can be a little different, but the other two are always going to be the same. And then moving over to Path 2, as always. I don't think I've seen anyone put a champion on this first node. You do have to leave a few nodes open in war, and these nodes are pretty easy, so I don't think they're worth putting it on. So I get the small yellow and red boost. He's only a rank 1 6-star, so I'm not too worried about him. Now he is tricky because he does have defensive ability accuracy reduction when you have any type of debuffs on you. So since I'm running Suicides, of course, with Omega Red, that means there's a chance that I won't proc a parry and stun him. And so I just have to be a little bit careful of that. The nice thing about this node, though, so of course Omega Red's poison immune, and since these bleeds pop up every couple of seconds, it just feeds his death field. But you go see this fight, my death field really doesn't come into play. I don't really play it that well as far as getting the death spores up. I really want to bait out his SP2 just because I feel that's so much easier than his SP. Bait out his SP1 because it's so much easier than baiting out his SP2. So there, I just play around it, get the SP1, go back in. Again, just getting a little bit of damage off the Death Spores. It doesn't really do much to get 10 or degen them, but this fight's going so well, then don't have to really worry about it, and I kill him pretty quickly and efficiently. Again, against a rank 1 champion, you have a pretty good advantage on this node, and so it's a pretty straightforward fight. Now, of course, it's time to go over to Path 9, and Path 9 is, I actually can't remember, I'll have to wait until I see who's on Path 9 here. Is this the fight with Mephisto? So I always sort of do my first fight in the morning, or actually right before I go to bed, and then this is as soon as I wake up. And no, it's against Karnak. So Karnak is a very easy fight. It's also rank 1. The Havoc is going to be a little more difficult, and I'm going to use Mysterio for the Havoc. So go ahead and throw on medium boost on the red and yellow, and the big boost on the green. So Karnak has almost not much to worry about, but don't want to take anything for granted and more. But going with Emma, she has a class advantage, and is also going to save my health from Mysterio. And so this fight's straightforward. Just going to try and bait the SP1, just attack into him and not go worry too much about much. So Karnak, this is sort of just a placement just for diversity, I'm sure. When you have Emma and Mysterio, the only thing you're worried about on this node is the extra attack health, and so it's not too much to have to deal with in a node at all. So again, getting to bait his SP1, easy to punish it, and get up to my SP3. Don't have that many prowess charges, but it's pretty much going to be able to kill him here. And so, do my last attacks. Have 5 prowess, he's down to 18%, and so this should finish him off with my SP3. Usually try to get at least 5 prowess anytime I'm using my specials. It seems to be a pretty doable amount, and it definitely ramps up the damage nicely to have them. 10 is hard because you have to only be in telepathic form to get them, and it just means you have to be in telepathic form, do a lot of crits, and then be able to fire them off before you go back to your diamond form. So that's the first fight. The next fight's a little more difficult. It's a rank 5 Havoc. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to, again, build up to my SP3 just to get that big damage on him. And then also, of course, have him throw his SP2s, because that way it sort of takes off some of his plasma generation, which keeps the plasma detonate off me, which is an easy way to take a lot of damage. So I put on a invulnerability boost just because I have one in the overflow, and I figure, much like when I was fighting Captain Marvel movie earlier, his special 2 can be a little tricky to dodge, and might as well just be immune to having 1 or 2 mess ups, and so everything's going well. Of course, you have to bait out his heavy. I could punish the heavy after the first jump, but I just figure I'll do the 2 jumps and move back 2 spaces. So he throws his SP2, I dodge it well, and go back in, and trying to build up to my SP3, but I'm holding block here so he doesn't throw his SP1, and, again, I don't have too many charges on me. Now I have 3, but staying away from that plasma charge. Get my SP3 fired off, again, does great damage, talking 20-30% damage from it, which is, I think pretty powerful for SP3s. So he's got his SP2 again. I'm going to let him throw it just to dodge it, go back in, and sort of held off on my combo. Not quite sure why. Maybe I either panicked or missed an input. It takes him a while to throw another special. Another heavy, but I counter it and defeat him fairly easily. And so that went well. Pretty good sized fight, 45 hits, so not too many. Once you get that SP3 again, the damage is so good. So we do take the victory against Kank. We had a pretty good war and we did really well. And so now we're 1-1 after 2 wars. Now if we are to Season 14, War number 3 against Demon. And I do know we fought them last time. Again, they're lower ranked than us, and usually we beat them. I change around, take off Omega, put in Medusa. Perfect for lane 2 again. She's poison immune, but not bleed immune, and just a powerful champion. And the first fight I have is against Golk. Again, it's a pretty straightforward fight. He's only rank 1, 2, so not too worried about this at all. The only thing about Golk, of course, is you want to be careful of his when he goes into Smash, because then he's unstoppable. So that's the only thing I want to keep my eye out for. The defensive tactic is dodge, and he's like the antithesis of a dodge character, as he is extra large. So everything seems to be very straightforward for this fight, and off I go. And so, just trying to, of course, attack into him. I'd rather push him to his SP2. It's a little easier to dodge his SP1, but if he throws his SP1, I'm just going to block it. And so here I get my SP1, armor shatter him. He throws his. I notice there's smash, so I back off, and then right back in. So yeah, doing really good damage now. Just going at him, go get him to his SP2. Now I can bait that out, but then I realize I will just kill him anyway. So I'm close enough and just finish him off. Really quick and easy fight. Again, a rank 1 champion against a rank 5 champion. You have a really significant advantage, and 35 hits is not many at all to kill a champion. And so now off I go. I have Sunspot here, and Sunspot, of course, you just want to be careful about his specials. Everything's easy to dodge, but if you get hit by them, then that would be the absolute end. I go ahead and put on Big Boost just to be cautious about these fights, and just want to make sure that when I punish his SP1, he does a whole bunch of like flip tricks, and I just want to make sure I go in right when he's jumping backwards, because if you go in a little later, I've gotten parried before. Do have some Grey Boost in the overflow, so I put on a Power Start. This is great because it'll get me to my SP3 faster, which of course makes me really powerful. So yeah, not so bad. Again, Mysterio hits really hard, I think. 2,000, 3,000, 6,000, I mean, these are all the damage he does. Throws his SP1. When he leaps back, I go in. Again, the only thing about him throwing his SP1 is if he was to hit me, he's going to put a lot of incinerates on me, because of course the SP1 stack the flare states, which put that many flare charges or incinerates each time he hits you. So if he were to hit me, each time would be 3 incinerates, which is a lot. Get to my SP3, fire it off, and again, big time damage. He's down to 5%. He has an SP2. I just parry him and finish him off. And so that fight went really well. Get Mysterio. Mysterio is, I think, a really underrated champion. Does a lot, has a lot of interesting utility, and hits really hard too. Just a nice, I'd say, above average attacker. So this next fight is Thing, and Thing I'm always worried about. You just got to manage his rock stacks, and when he has power, and there's a whole lot going on too. So going in with this fight with Mysterio, again, trying to get to the SP3 to get the big damage, and had to watch out for his protection too. Again, his dodge, so I don't have to worry about the global node at all. And just need to manage his rock stacks and make sure he throws his specials and not attack when he has more than 15, because then he goes unstoppable and will wreck me. So I feel really nervous about this fight. I'm always nervous with the Thing, but I just missed the parry right away, which is always a bad start, and then he immediately puts protection on. You can see how little damage I do. I do like 200, 300 per hit, do nothing. Now his protection's off, and again, reasonable, but you still don't do much damage. Got him to 15 rock stacks pretty well on the first time, and then get to my SP3, so now I'll do some more damage. And so here he had 2 stacks of power, and I probably should have baited out the SP2, which I didn't think I was going to push him so close. I mean, I didn't realize how much I was risking at SP3, which can be really nasty. You can see he's basically a sliver of a bar away, like 1%. So I have to bait his SP2. Can't get hit. Luckily he throws it. It's at 11 rock stacks, so I'm going to hit him 4 times, but then I get that little funny bleep in my input where I dash backwards accidentally. But luckily he doesn't throw a special, and I hit him to get into 15 charges. Throws it. Has protection, so again my damage goes way down. I'm out of the SP3 mode, so I'm sort of back to just normal hits. But again, he does pretty good damage. Got the 15 rock stacks, just paying attention to those and just keep on fighting. And yeah, things are going pretty well. It's just sort of a slow fight where you just have to watch out and not make any mistakes. 15 rock stacks again. He's very good about throwing special quickly. And I get up to my SP3, get him down to 5%, and I figure I'll just finish him off here with that. And so, yeah, the fight went well. It's a manageable fight, but it's one of those fights where it can easily get out of control if you're not careful. And so you just have to be very, just play it very well and just stay calm and just try and manage all these things. Sometimes you just sit there and take hits to bait out a heavy thing, you won't throw a special, and just manage it. So our fourth war is against ASR, and ASR and us always have really good battles. So the Integral, who is a really cool player, is often on my stream, and we were talking. I was like, oh yeah, we do pretty well against you. He's like, well, you've lost 3 straight to us. So we've come into this with sort of a losing streak of 3. So I think this is the first time this season, second time this season I have a character who's not rank 1, and it's Thor Ragnarok rank 2. Look at that health, 130,000 health. He has a lot of health, and he has the defensive tactic Bulwark, which means he's going to go indestructible if I hit him too hard for, I can't remember, is it 10 seconds, 5 seconds, something like that. So with Thor Ragnarok, you have to be really careful when he gets his charges, because once he gets to 20, of course, then he gets a bar of power. So my goal is to get him at 19 and then knock him down, then hit him and knock him down so he can, of course, lose his stacks. I also don't mind baiting his SP1, so here I bait out the SP1, so now he's at 19, and I totally mess up. I forget to get it, or my input went backwards on me. Luckily, he throws his specials twice even, and so I avoid getting to SP3. And my auto block, since he hit me, kicked in too, which is also an amazing thing. So yeah, Medusa has a lot of value because of that auto block. Definitely saved me there. So off to a bad start, but luckily it doesn't really affect me. The nice thing about Medusa on this node too, you gain these bleeds, and so they don't do any damage, but they do proc your willpower. So I'm healing, I'm at 100%. Here again I mess up, I don't knock him down, but he throws a special luckily, and then he's really throwing specials a lot, so he uses up all of his power that he gets from that power gain just on 2 special ones, which I just dodge and punish. So things are going well, I'm getting him down, just chipping away, got the armor shatter, got some bleeds on him, and yeah, everything's going okay. And so get him up to power gain, and then block him, and then I totally miss the SP2, and this time he does get his SP3, and look, I'm at 100%, he throws his SP3, he's at 34%. And I'm like, oh, this could get ugly. And I'm a little bit confident just because I have so much health. But there I get hit, and you can see, taking lots of damage. Dodge is heavy, which is very lucky. I can't afford to get hit anymore. But man, those shocks are just doing so much damage, just eating away my health. Again with the SP3, knock him down this time, so he can't gain more power gain. That's actually the key with him. But yeah, the shocks are still there. And yeah, finally finish him off with 15%. So I made a lot of mistakes that fight. I was really lucky to survive it. I mean, once you get the SP3, it's usually over. But 90 hits, I mean, he has a lot of health. He's definitely a stack champion as a rank 2. And I would guess he's probably like Sig, at least 150. And so that means that he does do a lot of damage with that SP3. So pretty bad fight. Very lucky to escape it without a death, which, yeah, a pretty ugly death. That's a very easy node. So now I have a Mephisto. I'm just going to go with Emma. She has pretty good incinerate resistance because of her diamond form. Can't be incinerated, so I'm not too worried. Got a bunch of boosts in the overflow, so I throw in the the power boost 1. My goal is to try to get him with the SP2 as much as possible, because that could potentially turn off his regeneration, because it does concussion on the SP2. I think at least. So just fighting. She's in telepathic form, so I'm trying to stay away from his incinerate. His SP1's always sort of a little bit messy to dodge sometimes. Definitely seem to get hit by it a fair number of times. I've had him a lot on Alliance Quest, and sort of post-traumatic stress from fighting him. There's Tuso with the heavy, get hit, but just using her heavy, just slowly building up her power, and also eliminating his power. So yeah, heavy attack gives you more power and then less, so it's a really good attack. You can see some of them are doing pretty good damage. I think there are a few that are doing 12,000 crits, so yeah, it's pretty good utility of Emma. To get the SP3, which is going to limit his power gain, and again, definitely go back to the heavies. Just trying to spam the heavies and just wear him down. Gets the aura. I'm out of diamond form, but luckily the parry does enough damage. It puts me back in diamond form. So Sig 200. It doesn't take too much to get into diamond form. You know, just I can't remember what percentage of her health it takes. So there, big SP2. He gets his regen, but doesn't seem to do too much. I think the concussion might have mitigated a lot of the healing, but he barely heals at all. Or maybe it's because he had thrown enough SP1s that he'd run out of charges, but whatever the fact is, I kill him with an SP1 at the end. It was a pretty straightforward fight, and I felt pretty good about that. 31 hits, not many hits. She's really tanky, and yeah, I was doing a lot of damage off my heavies, so that felt good. My last fight is going to be again with Emma. She has class advantage against Korg. Korg's always messy to fight. Just his rock shield alone always does a fair amount of damage, and so you know, it's like unavoidable to take a good bit of damage. And then, you know, should you get hit by anything, you know, it could be the end. So of course my goal is to just bait his heavy. So I'm going to just be holding the block a lot and just punishing the heavy attack, and also try to get him to his SP2, because the SP1 is difficult to dodge, and sometimes it's unblockable, which means for me it's nearly impossible. I feel like maybe once in my life I've actually blocked the SP1. So I'm just holding, wait for him to throw his heavy, and then punish that. You see I'm not doing too much damage, 975, and then, you know, it's pretty good shielding from the rock stacks. And so I'm taking good damage. So here he's at 96%, I'm already at 80%, so yeah. Things change, of course, when his shield gets shattered. That's when I throw my specials. You know, now I'm doing much more damage. He has his SP2 out, so I'm going to throw that, and now a couple more hits in before he gets his rock shield back. So now his rock shield's back, so not too much damage, but, you know, again, I take a lot of damage. You know, I'm taking over 1,000 points of damage. You know, his rock shield's down again, so I'm going to go in and fire off my SP2. You know, again, 14,000 non-crits, pretty strong. So it's really, really good her SP2, especially when you get some paralysis. He's at his SP2, great, he throws it, back I go, keep on hitting him until his rock shields are down. And yeah, now, just trying to build up to that SP2 again. I don't have any paralysis charges, which, that's the only problem with her, since you're not parrying, you don't get many, but still 11,000 damage with the SP2, so it's still reasonable. And did I go again, just again, attacking away. It's unblockable here. I should have tried to dodge it. I thought maybe if I dodged the first part, I would dodge the other pieces, but no, even all of his shots are unblockable, so take 3 hits. But just keep on working on slowly, and then I can finish it off with the SP1. So even though I played that without getting hit, I'm still down to 38%. So it's, yeah, I mean, he's a hard champion just because he's going to do a lot of damage regardless. 75 hits is a fair amount, and so, you know, it's a beefy fight. But I survived. So that's the end of that fight, and we did go on to win that war, and we are now 3-1 heading into our next groups. So this is Enzo Eigen, the Lines for Loki. Thank you for watching. Seasons 14, Wars 1, 2, 3, 4, and I look forward to seeing you in Wars 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7, 8. Goodbye.